All right, sticking with football on the SportsMax Zone as we discuss the latest from the English Premier League. Match week 20 concluded a short while ago as 17th placed Wolverhampton Wanderers were in action against surprise package Nottingham Forest, and with that game ending 3-0 in favour of Forest. Another fabulous performance coming from them. All right, let's have a look at the full complement of results from this match week. Yeah, Newcastle 2-1 over Tottenham, a controversial goal included in that. Bournemouth 1-0 at home over Everton. Aston Villa with the Jamaican Leon Bailey scoring the winner in that 2-1 win over Leicester City. Crystal Palace and Chelsea ending 1-1. Brentford just too good for Southampton, winning by 5-0 on the road. And Mbeumo with a fabulous performance, including 2 goals. Manchester City 4-1 over West Ham. Erling Haaland getting a double in that encounter. Brighton and Arsenal 1-1. Ipswich Town 2-2 away to Fulham. Manchester United and Liverpool, that one ending 2-2 as well at Anfield. And today Nottingham Forest 3-0 over Wolves. So Liverpool leading on 46 points. They're 6 ahead of Arsenal, with Forest now moving into 3rd position. They too have 40 points. Chelsea on 36, Newcastle 35, and City 34, completing the top 6. Brighton in that 10th position with 28 points. Look at the second half. Tottenham in 12th on 24, Manchester United in 13th on 23, West Ham in 14th on 23 as well. And then Ipswich, Leicester and Southampton in the relegation zone, 16, 14 and 6 points respectively. Can't see Southampton staying up from here, but Leicester, Ipswich, Wolves, Everton, maybe even Crystal Palace, maybe even West Ham. Yeah, let's stop there. In a mad tussle to try and avoid relegation. All right, one of the most highly anticipated matchups of the English football calendar brought plenty plot twists to discuss. Before we get to some of those discussion points, though, let's hear from the man in the hot seat, the Manchester United boss, Ruben Amorim, who praised his team's mentality for their 2-2 draw at Anfield.
I think the most important thing to address today is the mentality, and that is the key for everything. So today we were a different team, not because of the system, not because of the technical aspect of the game, the tactical aspect of the game. We faced the competition in the way that we're supposed to face every day, training and match. It doesn't matter the place, the opponent. We need to face the every day like that. I'm trying to push this team every day. Sometimes maybe it's not the best way, because I'm always challenging these players in everything I do, because I feel that we are not just the players, but everybody in Manchester are too comfortable. So I think we need sometimes a shock, and you can see it today. We were a different team. It's not about the system. It's the way we face competition.
Yeah, maybe for the first time this season, nothing shaky about Manchester United on Sunday. Meanwhile, the discussion surrounding Liverpool was dominated by the subpar performance of star fullback Trent Alexander-Arnold, who has been linked to Real Madrid. And that's a topic Arne Slot had to address post-game.
Yeah, I don't believe in those things, but it's I think 9 out of 10 people will tell you that it affected him. But I'm one of the 10 that tells you that I don't think that affected him. What affected him is that he had to play Bruno Fernandes and Diogo Dalot, which are 2 starters for Portugal. Great players. And we have a fantastic player here with Diogo Jota, and he's not even playing for Portugal. So mostly he's not playing. So that tells you how much quality United has. And if these players set themselves to a game, and that is what United once in a while do, then it's very difficult to play against them. And I think that is more difficult for Trent to play against Bruno Fernandes and Diogo Dalot than it is the rumors that were there during the week. But yeah, that's my opinion, and probably everybody's going to tell you that it had to do with the rumors, but my opinion is different.
Arne Slot, yeah, nice twist, spin. I like it. Brent Sancho joins the conversation via phone. Brent, let's start with Manchester United because a lot of people expected the Red Devils to get hammered yesterday by Liverpool. That wasn't the case. What I saw was a Manchester United team refusing to lose, fighting from the very first whistle, fighting for every ball. And I guess that is what the coach means when he speaks about the mentality.
Yeah, good night, everyone. Of course, I tend to agree. I was one of those that thought they would have gotten absolutely battered as well. But football is a funny sport. And there's never been a doubt, really, about the quality that Manchester United has in terms of some of the players. It's really, and I've always said this, really down to the consistency of the mentality. And I think that the coach is spot on. Yes, the Liverpool game is a game that you would expect every single Manchester United player to be up for. But, when you see that sort of performance, it's frustrating for a manager because that's the kind of performance you wanted against Nottingham Forest at home. That's the kind of performance you wanted for several of the Wolves game away. It's that mentality that wins you football games. And you hear so many times when people talk about the top teams in world football and what they have, and it's that word mentality, that belief that they are going to do what is necessary to win football games. And if you don't have that going into a football match, and Manchester United have not had it for most of the season, you are going to lose. And I think they went into it with the right mentality, and that was able to be the platform for the quality that we know that they can have to shine.
Yeah, I must part with you on one thing though, Brent, because from my standpoint, I do question some of the quality that is in the Manchester United setup. And for me, in some instances, it is that lack of quality that leads to the inconsistent performances. So I do understand that on a day when the entire team gets up because you are playing Liverpool, you are playing one of your great rivals and you don't want to lose to them, then you can have performances like this in a similar way that this team would have beaten Manchester City. But I am still not convinced that week in, week out, Manchester United have the overall quality to produce performances of this level and even better on a weekly basis.
Yeah, let me say that the quality is not Manchester United quality. I agree there. It certainly isn't. We can certainly agree with that. It's not the type of quality that would win you the Premiership. But is the quality of the players better than Nottingham Forest? Of course it is. But Nottingham Forest is placed higher on the table because they have that mentality week in, week out. As it relates to the quality, when you look at the Bruno Fernandes, for example, performance, I thought he was absolutely outstanding. But has he given you that throughout the season? I would argue with anyone that Bruno Fernandes is one of the best midfielders in the league. One of them, probably up there. But he does not do that week in, week out. When he did it, Manchester United finished high up the table. So there are instances within the team that they certainly do have the quality. But all throughout, I would tend to agree with your point that the quality that Manchester United that we have known and, of course, have gotten used to is certainly not there. And then, again, that starts to transition the conversation as to the type of craziness that took part. That's the best way I can explain it, as it relates to the players that they have on contracts and that was brought into the club by managers that they have gotten rid of, and even directors of football that they have gotten rid of, and even the club owners that certainly sanction some of these deals. So, yes, it's not the quality that the Manchester United certainly isn't up there with the Cities and Liverpools of this world. But I think when you look at that type of performance, it now sets the standard. And I think moving forward for Manchester United and its new manager, that's what he would be demanding from them.
Yeah, fair enough, Brent. And I completely agree with you that the performance from Bruno Fernandes was spectacular. I mean, he was really stringing those passes from the middle of the park and providing the opportunities for Manchester United, setting the tone and the rhythm for the team. And yes, he is one of the best midfielders in the league, but we haven't seen that type of performance from him. I do want to talk quickly, though, about Trent Alexander-Arnold and what is being said of his performance performance. He was taken apart by Bruno and Dalot as well. And the Liverpool coach, Arne Slot, said, well, it was the quality of the opposition. Others are saying, well, he probably is thinking too much about a potential move to Real Madrid. But he's not the only player in the Liverpool setup whose contract will end at the end of the season. Van Dijk is captain, Salah are in that same position as well. But what did you make of the performance from Trent and why he was taken apart on Sunday?
Yes, look, I mean, different players deal with different situations differently, of course. I heard Slot talk about 9 out of 10 people may think it's the Real Madrid situation. I am part of that 9, I would say that much. Because, you know, for a player, and as I said, each player deals with situations differently. Those sorts of things do have its toll on you. It does play. So I personally had those sorts of situations, and when you get when you get those sorts of conversations around transfer window and a massive club like Real Madrid coming in,
but Brent, his defensive abilities have always been questioned, though. Brent, this is not the first time.
Yeah, but it has not shown as badly as it did in that particular game. It was one of easily Trent Alexander's worst game for the season, and I could only possibly point at a possibility that it could be the Real Madrid situation. Is it a one-off? I certainly think it is. I think he is a good wing back. Yes, he does have defensive frailty, but any modern-day wing back in the game, you could question their defensive abilities because they are now asked to do a lot more attacking than at any time in the history of the sport. So yes, there are deficiencies in this game defensively, but when you look at what he has done throughout the season, you would have to say he's had a pretty good season thus far up until that point. And the kind of player of that caliber have a bad game? Yeah, I would say so. He certainly did that night. But you're right, there were situations in last season, the season before, where he did have horrendous stretcher games, but he's been able to, in his body of work this season in particular, to lessen those errors. And he has been good for Liverpool. He's one of the reasons why Liverpool have done so well. But yeah, he's had an off game yesterday. Yes, you could look at the opposition. Okay, they did have good games in Dalot and Fernandes. Maybe arguably their best games of the season. But to look at it and think that it's something more than what it is, it's very difficult to speculate. Because again, you're talking about a player that so far, over the course of 20-some odd games, including Europe and everything, has played particularly well this season thus far. So to have a one-off game, yes, is something that you can look at. But I think if there's a series of 4 performances, then you may have to dive a bit deeper.
Yeah. All right. In 10 seconds, Brent, because we're absolutely out of time. The penalty, the delete, handball, should it have been a penalty or not?
Harsh. Yeah, I thought it was very, very harsh.
Okay.
I thought it was a harsh one.
Let's leave that one there.
Seconds.
How about the handball that led to the Newcastle goal in their game against Tottenham? Should that have been called back?
I thought that was harsh, and I would even ask I'll even add the Arsenal-Brighton one as well. Some very strange decisions.
Brent, the Arsenal-Brighton call is a penalty every day of the week, including the 8th day.
Well, you would say so. You're a harsh man.
Brent, we have to leave it there. We can't go into this, but we have to leave it there for today. That is a penalty every day of the week and every day of the year. Every second of the year. That's a penalty every single time. Brent, we have to go. We're absolutely out of time. Take care, man. As usual, a pleasure speaking with you. We'll chat again soon.
All right, take care.
All right, let's go to a break. Interactive to close the show after this.